where this is happening automatically. It happens automatically when you've done this enough times and you develop enough neural pathways in the brain, and the positive ball of energy is bigger than the negative ball of energy. But let me give you a specific list of things you can do to feel good now. And some of these might surprise you, but these are the things that we have learned, myself and my colleagues, that work incredibly effectively well. And some of these are simplistic and easy, but you'll be surprised because they all work. And so if you're listening to the CDs, you can listen to them, but you should write them down. If you're here, you can write these down so you have this list available. First, if your body feels bad, it's going to be harder for you to feel good. So first and foremost, your body is an important element to feel good with your body. First and foremost, you want to be eating good food. Throughout history, food has been subsistence. The number one cause of death throughout history has been famine, lack of food. Second cause of death has been disease, which is caused by nutritional deficiencies and a weak immune system, which is lack of food. So you should be eating good food. Without getting into a big lecture on what's right to eat, I'll make it very simple. You can virtually eat anything you want, but eat food that is as close to as nature intended. So if you want to eat lots of fruits, fresh fruits are better than canned fruits, obviously. Organically grown fruits are better than conventional because they're not genetically modified. They don't have the pesticides and herbicides on them. There is a huge difference between organically grown produce, which is why when you go to 4- and 5-star resorts where the wealthy go, most of the produce is organically grown. When you go to people's homes, organically grown is much better. Not genetically modified, no pesticides and herbicides. Vegetables, same thing. Fresh vegetables are better than cooked vegetables, but both are just fine. Organically grown vegetables are better. Grains, rice, wheat, barley. Somebody says, when would I ever eat barley? Well, if you ever had barley soup, buckwheat, there's a lot of different grains. People don't even eat them today in various countries, but in other countries you eat them all the time. But grains are good. Oatmeals, ideally organically grown grains. And this is very significant because most grains today, corn specifically, but most grains today are being genetically modified specifically for the feed industry, so that when they feed grains to animals, it makes the animals grow faster and get fatter quicker. So organically grown grains, again, that have not been genetically modified. Meats, beef, chicken, lamb, veal, all good, fine, no problems. Any types of meats, ideally organically grown animals, whether it's eggs, organically grown, dairy products, organically grown, and meats, organically grown, because they don't have bovine growth hormone or other hormones pumped into them. The animals are slaughtered properly, they're cleaner, they're healthier, they don't have antibiotics pumped into them, and there's a huge difference between organically grown meat products and those that are not. One example is a cow is a vegetarian animal, which is supposed to eat grass. Commercially grown cattle can be fed genetically modified corn and grains that make these animals grow unnaturally fat. And they're also fed ground up dead pigs, horses, cows, goats, and chickens that were too sick to slaughter and give to humans. So they feed them to the vegetarian cow, which is one of the causes of mad cow disease. And obviously then that animal, which is eating dead animals when it's not supposed to, it's a vegetarian, gets sick and has the disease of the animals that it's eating, and then you're eating that cow. So ideally, organically grown meat products and dairy products. So eat good food. Eating 3 times a day is really important. Eating fresh fruits every day, fresh vegetables every day as part of your regime is really important. And stay away from things such as artificial sweeteners. Artificial sweeteners will block your brain's ability to send out vibrations. Interesting. High fructose corn syrup, stay away from that. Very dangerous. Monosodium glutamate, stay away from that. Stay away from processed foods. Stay away from fast food restaurants, because when you go to a fast food restaurant, everything in it has high fructose corn syrup, monosodium glutamates, and other chemicals which block your ability to think and actually make you feel bad and depressed because they're blocking neural pathways in the brain. So eating good food is really significant and important. I'm not going to give a complete lecture on that. Later, I'll go into all the details of what you should and shouldn't be eating, but eating good food is really vital. Secondly, nutritional deficiencies. Everyone has nutritional deficiencies because we're not eating as good as we should. So by eating good food, that'll help handle nutritional deficiencies. When your body has all the proper nutrients, you feel better, you think clearer, and you can focus, and you can transmit vibration better. You will always feel better when you have all the nutrients you need. I suggest not taking vitamins and minerals, but taking what's called whole food supplements, which is basically concentrated food. So when you're eating a whole food supplement, it is a supplement that you take to supplement your diet. And these supplements contain concentrated food sources. Therefore, you're getting all the vitamins, minerals, and enzymes from food in a concentrated form in the exact proportion that nature intended. That way you're getting all the vitamins and minerals in the proportion that nature had intended. A good source for that, you can go on the web, is qnlabs.com. That's one of the best sources in the United States, and there are other companies all around the world, whole food sources. Next, one of the reasons why you feel bad and one of the things that will block your ability to focus are toxins in the body. Toxins include heavy metals, such as from mercury fillings. Candida is a toxin in the body. All the food you've eaten your whole life, the pesticides, the herbicides, are in your body with toxins. In the water supply, chlorine and fluoride, those are toxins. Water that you drink and water that you bathe and shower in. We are loaded with toxins from the air we breathe, the food we eat, and the number one toxin that you're dealing with today are drugs. I'm not going to get into this whole discussion, but getting people to use pharmaceutical drugs, non-prescription and prescription drugs, is something that's prevalent, because taking drugs, even an aspirin, will weaken your ability to focus and transmit vibration. So the more drugs somebody can get you to take makes you powerless. It reduces your power to create. So if you're taking nasal decongestant, cold and flu medicine, statins for high cholesterol, a drug for high blood pressure, pain medication, all these things reduce your ability to transmit vibration. It's specifically designed to get you less powerful. So we're loaded up with toxins. Therefore, you should be doing some type of cleansing to get these toxins out. Now, there's a whole bunch of different kinds of cleanses, but you want to do the following: a colon cleanse, a liver gallbladder cleanse, a kidney cleanse, a parasite cleanse, a candida cleanse, a fat cell cleanse, and a heavy metal cleanse. Those are the basic ones. You can go to qnlabs.com. They have a lot of good cleanses. You can also go to drschultz.com. He has a lot of good cleanses. You can just go online and Google cleanses, and you can see a whole bunch of different cleanses available. You can go to naturalcures.com. They have a lot of great cleanses at that website. So cleansing and getting toxins out of the body is very effective. We do fasting, we do colonics, and we do this on a regular basis to make sure that our power, it's kind of like taking your car in and getting a tune-up and getting the oil and filter changed. If you're going to race a car and want to win the race, you want to make sure that engine is operating really powerfully. Here, your engine is your brain and your ability to focus and transmit vibration. So that's why doing these things is really important. The next thing, which is very interesting, is today, this didn't exist 50 years ago. Today, you're bombarded by electromagnetic frequencies. Remember I told you the experiments where various things, from a bar of gold to a glass of water to a piece of metal, when hit with an electromagnetic frequency from a radio wave, a microwave, a wireless device, a cell phone, these waves affect vibration. You are being bombarded 24 hours a day, 7 days a week from all the satellites that are beaming electromagnetic waves, all the cell phone towers, all the radio transmissions. And in your homes, all the electrical wiring emits radio waves. All the wireless devices emit radio waves. Your cell phones, your laptop computers that are on wireless, Wi-Fi. We are bombarded today by radio waves, and these radio waves are hitting us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We can't avoid them anywhere on the planet. And these radio waves are going to affect our own vibration and our ability to transmit vibration. So what do? You can't eliminate it, but you can neutralize it. They're called electromagnetic chaos eliminators. And there's a lot of devices that you can purchase. Many of them are great. Some of them are very good. They all vary in terms of their effectiveness. No one really knows which is the best ones are out there. But there's a few of them. Q-Link is one. An E-Pendant.
All right, it's time to get this rocking. What's up, family? Grand Rising. Hope all of you guys were getting a lot of value from that video right there. It's one of my videos that I like to watch to kind of, remind me of the importance of the things that we eat, the energies, protecting myself at all costs. It's good stuff. Like I told you guys, nothing that I told you guys yesterday is a lie. Is really true stuff that, we got to deal with on a day-to-day basis. So I want to make sure that I wake you guys up as much as I can. I want to make sure that, you guys are always aware of exactly what to eat, what not to eat, how to cleanse your body of these chemicals, and how to protect yourself from all these magnetic rays. And it's just a lot of stuff, fam. So make sure that you guys take a look more into that video. I'll post a link right here in the chat. There's more to it. But what was the doctor's name? Forgot that. Yeah, it was Dr. Scholl's. Yeah, it was definitely Dr. Scholl's, if I remember. But that was Your Wish Is Your Command, part 8. Okay, part 8 is where he jumps into the foods and the different types of stuff. But I'm excited for today's call. Put a 7 in the chat box if you did your morning routine this morning. If you did your morning routine this morning, put a 7 in the chat box. I'm at 10 days in a row. How many days in a row are you? Because I'm at 10 days in a row, right? An add-on was about superfood. Let's go. I think they know that I purchased Kachava. So I'm at 10 days already, man. I'm at 10 days. I feel so good. Oh, okay. Let me see. 2 days, 7 days, 90 days, 4 days, 9 days, 10 days as well. Last miss was June 21st, so I've been consistent since then. Let's go. 8 days. Today marks 30 days. Man, we have too many people that, are just, we have too many single digits, man. Too many single digits. We next week, I want to see everybody in the double digits. I want to see everybody in the double digits. I just got to the double digits today, right? So I just got to the double digits today. Somebody in the chat box said, I can't wake up early. Any recommendations? Does anybody want to give her a recommendation? Can somebody point out why she can't wake up early right there? Right? What does she say that it'll never happen? I can't wake up early. That's what you said. I can't. I can't. All right. You said it. That's the story you tell yourself. It's the language. You could do anything that you put your mind to, right? Your vocabulary has to change. First off, you got to change the you got to definitely change the vibration and the things that you're speaking. Giving you some advice. One advice is, number one, go to sleep earlier. Okay. So if you're going to sleep at midnight, do your best to go to sleep like around 10 p.m., an hour earlier. Another thing I would recommend is set the intentions before you go to bed. Okay, set the intentions before you go to bed, at what time you want to wake up before you go to bed. So when I go to bed, I tell myself that I'm going to wake up at 5:55 in the morning. Okay, I tell myself, so naturally it just happens. Um, Also, I wouldn't recommend no smoking or eating before bed if that's something that you do. Reading the book Miracle Morning. Okay, Miracle Morning is a very good book that'll give you some good, insight on waking up, and also, practicing the 5 second rule. If you do the 5 second rule, it's super dope. I do it all the time, especially on the tough mornings. I just sit there in bed and I'm like, okay, on the count of five or on the count of one, I'm gonna get out of bed. Five, four, three, two, one. Boom. I get out of bed. I go wash my face. I go do something that'll get me out of bed so I could get out of it. So stop speaking that you can't and start speaking, I can wake up earlier. I no longer have a problem to wake up early. Just start speaking the things that you want. And I'm telling you, you definitely will. I fall asleep now. Usually my goal is to be asleep by midnight. That's my goal usually, by midnight, so I could be up by 5:55, 6 a.m. So that gives me about solid 6 hours of sleep. The goal is before midnight, but the latest is midnight. Yesterday I fell asleep a little late. I fell asleep like at 1:30, but I still had to be up. I still woke up at 6:30, so I still had to make it happen. But I'm excited for today's call. Let's go right into the call. Let's practice some quick gratitude. What is one thing that you are grateful for today on this beautiful Wednesday morning? I am grateful for God. I am grateful for family. I am grateful for my health. I am grateful for my mom, my dad, my little brother. I am grateful for my goddaughter, Dadiana. I'm extremely grateful for my team and the leaders within my organization. I'm grateful for Katie and her guidance with me. I'm grateful for uh, the leaders within the organization. I'm grateful for the books that I get a chance to read on a day-to-day basis, the wisdom. I'm grateful for the Instagram family who jumps on daily. Grateful for my awareness. Grateful for the mentorship that I get. Grateful for the whole Mornings with Nano community and the information that we have access to. I'm super, super grateful for journaling, man. Journaling has really helped me out a lot. Grateful for vision, facts, grateful for breakthroughs, grateful for so much. And I'm just super, super excited for this call here today. So let's get started with it. So today we're going to talk about a powerful topic. I think that a lot of you are going to be able to get a lot of value from this topic, for the simple fact that, today we're going to be talking about the tipping point. Okay, today's topic is called the tipping point. Now, I'm sure you guys are wondering, what is the tipping point, right? What is the tipping point? Want to wish my sister Shamai a happy birthday, wishing you many more years of life and abundance. Hope all is well, and I hope you have a beautiful day. But going into today's topic, I want to talk about the tipping point and what exactly is the tipping point. I think that a lot of you are going to be able to get a lot of value from what the tipping point is. Now, if you think about it, think about what the tipping point is, right? The tipping point is usually the point where you get to right before it tips over. Okay, right? So, if you look up a picture of what the tipping point looks like, okay, I just want you to, if you look up images of the tipping point, right? And and you look at it, right? Usually what you're gonna get is, right, you're gonna get pictures of, something that is growing, and then it's gonna get to a certain point, okay, where it tips over. All right. Now, this is very, very important that you guys understand, because this has a lot to do with your thoughts. The tipping point has to do with the things that you think. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys how the tipping point can work in your favor to help you guys attract everything that you want in life, which is very important. Okay, so the tipping point. Okay, how does the tipping point work? Now, the first thing is you got to identify what you want. You got to identify a goal. You got to identify a direction. What are we looking to accomplish? And all of us here, we have different goals, different desires, different aspirations. So for all of us, it's a little bit different. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a car as an example. Okay. I'm going to use a car as an example because I feel like a car can give you guys a pretty good example of how this all works. So let's just say that I want a car. Okay. And let's say that you want a car. And that's your goal. You're like, you know what, Nano, my goal is I want to buy a car by the end of the year. That is my goal. I want to get a new car by the end of the year. It's time for me to get a new car. The car that I got keeps breaking down. It's not my birthday. The car that I have keeps breaking down, and it's time for a new one for me, right? So you say that you want a Mercedes as an example. Let's say you wanted to get a Mercedes. Okay, that is your goal. Now, I want you to remember, as I'm going over this, I want you guys to think about it in the goals that you want, right? Okay, so it could be a car, it could be a house, it could be a rank, it could be a certain amount of money, it could be something. But I want you guys to listen to the example that I'm going to use so you can understand it, all right? So let's say my goal is by the end of the year, I want to get a new car. Okay, I want to get a Mercedes, right? Now, that is my chief aim. That is my goal. Okay. Now, when you usually set a goal, okay, it's important that you guys understand that once you start to focus on it, your focus is going to be very minimal because you just want that car. So it's like me saying, hey, I want this car, but I only really speak about it and talk about it once in a while. Okay. So the focus is minimal. All right. So when I start thinking about the goal, what tends to happen is matching thoughts start to come about, right? So I start thinking about the car. I start thinking about how it's going to look. I'm start thinking about what color I want it in, what year. Okay. And I start putting more thought into it. Okay. Now I need you guys to stay with me here because I'm about to break this down in a way that's going to blow your guys' mind, right? So I start thinking about the car. All right. And I'm at the point now where I only really think about the car, for 20 to 30, 40 minutes a day. Okay. I'm not thinking about it much, but I think about it sometimes every day. Okay. Now, because I'm thinking about it every day, right, I'm getting matching thoughts. Now, usually what tends to happen, the moment you want a car, okay, you got to start now paying attention to the signs. Because I don't know if you guys ever had this happen to you, but you ever start focusing on a car and now you start seeing it everywhere, right? Put a 1 in the chat box if that has ever happened to you, where you wanted a car or you wanted a certain specific thing, and now you start to see that car in the highway. It's parked in front of your house. One of your friends just bought the car. It's something that, you just start to see a lot more. Now, let me tell you guys something. That car was always there. You just wasn't aware of it. Okay. Let me make sure you guys understand that. The car was always there. All right. The car was always there. You just were not aware of it. Okay. But now, because that's your focus has shifted, right? A month ago, you didn't want a car. Right? A month ago, you didn't want a car, but now your focus has shifted to, yo, I need a new car, and this is the car that I want, and now you're seeing that car everywhere. It's because now you have become aware of it. Okay, now you're looking for it because remember, what you want wants you. Make sure you guys write that down. What you want wants you as well. So the moment that your focus shifts, okay, now you're going to start to see that car everywhere. Now you're going to see it on the highway. Now you're going to see it parked, you know, in front of your house. Now you're going to see it all over Instagram. You're going to see ads. You're going to see this, right? So when those things start to happen, you got to always pay attention to the signs. Okay? Make sure you guys write this down. Pay attention to the signs, because if your focus changed and now you're seeing that car more often, that means that you are on the vibration. That means you're on the vibration. All right. The vibration is the key. Okay. So if you are seeing the car, if you are seeing it on your Instagram, if everything is working in your favor, that means that you are now on the vibration of the goal. Okay, you are now on the vibration of the goal. So you got to pay attention to the signs. Okay. Now, once you figure out, okay, all right, I'm on the vibration. Now, this is the key. Now, the key is, all right, how long are you willing to focus on this goal for until it becomes your reality? Okay, so the first thing is identifying the goal. Okay, once you identify the goal, which is number one when it comes to the tipping point, number two is you got to pay attention to the signs. Okay, so number one is set the goal, set the focus. What is going to be your focus? All right, that's your focus. Okay, we got the car is the focus. Number two is you got to pay attention to the signs. Are you getting signs that you are on that vibration? Okay, because that's the key. If you start focusing on the car and now you're seeing it everywhere, that means that you are on the vibration, which is the signs. And they say you got to pay attention to the signs. The signs is what confirms that you are on the vibration. Okay, so that's number two. Number three now is the duration of keeping that vibration. Because I want you guys to write this down. It's not about the vibration that you are on that matters. It's the vibration that you keep that matters. I'm going to repeat that one more time. It's not the vibration that you are on that matters. It's the vibration that you keep that matters, and that makes all the difference. Okay, because you could get on the vibration and then lose it. You could get on the vibration and then lose it. And you could get on the vibration and then lose it. That's inconsistent, right? One day you're up, one day you're down. One day you're up, one day you're down. One day you're up, one day you're down. That is an inconsistency. It's not going to work like that. So since it's not about the vibration that you are on that matters, it's about the vibration that you can get on and keep long enough over a period of time that will determine the difference in all of this. So when you keep the vibration long enough, okay, this is the key right here. You see, what tends to happen is you start with just 20 minutes a day. Okay. And if you are able to keep the vibration, there's something called a ball of energy. Think about a ball of energy, right? When you started focusing on the car, the ball of energy was small, right? I wish I had a ball to give you guys an idea, but think about baseball, right? Let's think about a baseball. Or even smaller, let's just start with a baseball, right? A baseball is not big. It's pretty small. About the hand size of the hand, right? And that ball of energy starts off like that. Or a ping pong ball. Let's start with the ping pong ball. I'm glad you gave me the idea, right? Let's say the ball of energy starts like a ping pong ball, small little ball, right? That's when you first made the decision that I wanted that car. Now, remember, every thought, every feeling, everything that you focus on and you add on, that ball will continue to grow. So now it goes from being a ping pong ball to now a baseball, which is a lot bigger, a little bit bigger, right? And you continue to think about it more. Now you're going from thinking about it 20 minutes to 40 minutes a day. Now you're thinking about it an hour a day. Now you're thinking about it 2 hours a day. Now it goes from a baseball, now it goes to a basketball, to a beach ball. And that ball of energy is going to start to grow because remember, it's your focus. Okay. And remember, as the ball of energy, okay, grows, there is something called a magnetic pull. All right. The bigger the ball, the more intense the magnetic pull is to attract situations, thoughts, people, and circumstances into your life to make that goal a reality. I need you guys to pay attention because this is very important. So that ball of energy is going to grow the more thoughts and the more feelings and the more energy that you give to it. So I'm focusing on the car 20 minutes a day when I started off. But now I'm focusing on the car an hour a day. Now I'm watching YouTube videos about the car. Now, I got the car pasted on my steering wheel. I see it when I wake up. I talk about it. I went to the Mercedes store. I sat in the car, right? Now, every single day, I'm adding more and more energy for it. I'm writing it down. I'm going on Mercedes.com and I'm designing the car every single day. I'm sitting in the car. I'm putting more energy into it, right? The ball of energy is going to start to grow. I'm getting more, I have more feelings towards it. I know how the car smells. I'm getting email notifications, right? I'm doing daily visualizations, celebrating it, so on and so forth. I'm seeing myself in the car. I'm talking to my friends about it. I'm visiting, the Mercedes store once or twice a month to make sure that I sit on the car to remind myself of it, right? The ball of energy is increasing, right? Now I am obsessed with the idea of owning this car. This is all I think about. I want my car. I want that Mercedes. I'm gonna own it. I'm involved with it. I am so emotional. I know exactly how it smells. I know how the seats feel. I know how the steering wheel feels. I can feel the leather on my hands. You're so involved in the idea of getting the car that the ball of energy is going to get so big that it's only a matter of time before number 4 happens, which is what? The physical manifestation happens. The physical manifestation happens when the ball of energy gets big enough. And this is what happens. And it's a very true story because if you listen to KT, he tells a story about how he was able to attract that Mercedes, right? Let me tell you guys a story that KT said, and I'm gonna do it to the best of my ability. And it was the reason why I used the Mercedes is because that's the way that he attracted it. So, Kevin Trudeau, KT, he wanted a new car. His car was, broken down. It needed a lot of, fixes and everything. And in the story, he says, I want a Mercedes. I want a Mercedes. I want a black Mercedes, black Mercedes, black Mercedes. Right. And that was what he wanted. He wanted the black Mercedes. I think he wanted the S500 4MATIC. Right. He wanted a black Mercedes. So he made it in the beginning. It was just something that he would focus on a little bit, 20 minutes a day, 30 minutes a day. It was just a small focus. Right. But what happened was, the focus started to increase because now, like I said, he was seeing the car everywhere. So those were the signs. He was paying attention to the signs. He was like, man, I'm seeing the car everywhere now. Right? I see it here. I see it there. I see it at the grocery store. I see it at my house. I see it on the highway. Right? But remember, that's his focus. Black Mercedes, black Mercedes, black Mercedes, black Mercedes. Right? That was his goal, to get a black Mercedes. But he doesn't know how. He doesn't know how. He doesn't know where he's going to get the money for it. Nothing. in reality, he can't even afford a black Mercedes at the time. Listen to the story, it's crazy. But he doesn't care about the how. All he cares about is focusing on the black Mercedes, the black Mercedes, the black Mercedes. So he gets to the point where, you know, he does everything that I told you guys. He does the visualizations. He goes, sits in the car. He thinks about it. He talks about it. He sees it. He gets very emotionally involved in it, week after week, month after month. Actually, he did it in 3 weeks, to be honest, right? So after 3 weeks of him focusing on it, becoming obsessed with it, allowing the ball of energy to grow and really, really getting intensely involved in the car, the black Mercedes, a situation came up, right? Where he found a briefcase. Okay. And he found this briefcase on the street. I think it was by a bus stop. And he picked up the briefcase and he saw that it had a number on it, and he called up the guy. Right? He calls up the guy and he's like, you know, he said, "Hey, bro, I just found this briefcase here, and I was wondering if you needed it." And the guy says, "Oh my God, bro, you have no idea. I lost my briefcase. I didn't know where I left it. I have my whole life in there. Thank you so much, man. How can I repay you?" And KT and Salam like, "Nah, man, I just want to return your briefcase. Don't even worry about it." He's like, no, bro. Like, I don't think you understand. I need to repay you in some kind of way. I'm on my way to you right now. Send me your address. Right? So he goes and he pulls up on KT. And when he pulls up on him, he's like, "Wow, man, thank you so much. You didn't even open the briefcase. You're such a good guy. You're such a good Samaritan. How can I repay you?" And KT was like, "Nah, bro, I don't need anything. Like, I'm good. I just wanted to give it to you back. And, you know, I was just being a good person." He was like, no. People like you don't exist in this world. Let me repay you. And he wrote him a check for $50,000. And he wrote him a check for $50,000. Okay. So he gives him the check. Okay. Now KT goes, he trades in his car. He buys the black Mercedes. Okay. He buys the black Mercedes. He puts a down payment on it. Okay. And now not only does he have the black Mercedes, he has better car payments than what he was, you know, paying before. And on top of that, now he has money in the bank. So think about that. He went from having a broken down car and no money in the bank to getting the car that he wanted, the black Mercedes. Okay, he put a good down payment on it. So now his monthly payments were better than the broken down car that he was paying for before. And on top of that, now he has money in the bank. And this is a true story. True story. It's a true story. He said it he wouldn't lie about that. It's a true story. And he got the black Mercedes. And people couldn't believe it. Like, yo, how were you able to afford that car? How were you able to get this car? It was because his main focus was that goal. He was able to attract it. And guess what? Because he was able to attract that car in a matter of 3 weeks, his belief for this information increased to new levels, and he started to apply it in other areas. And the same way that he was able to attract it with the car, he was able to attract it with his business, with his wife, with everything. He was able to attract it. He tells a story about, you know, this person that, you know, he tells a story about this guy who attracted a girl, right? And, you know, his focus was, you know, he wanted to attract this girl who was driven and, you know, who was beautiful and had, you know, blonde hair and so on and so forth. And, you know, he meets this girl and he falls in love with her. He's like, yo, this is the girl that I wanted. I want to marry her and everything. But unfortunately, the girl is not into him. Okay. The girl is actually not into him. So he says, you know what? Guess what? I'm gonna manifest this girl to like me. So he starts to focus on it. He starts to focus on getting the girl to like him and getting him to love him. And he thinks that he can manifest it in a way where, he can get the girl to like him, get the girl to love him. But what happened is that since he was so focused on, the vibration of a girl loving him and of a girl being a certain kind of way, what he didn't know was that this girl wasn't gonna like him eventually, that's it. But the thing was that there was a girl that he was gonna meet next week. He was gonna meet Danny next week, and Danny was gonna be the girl of his dreams. And this girl was gonna be 10 times smarter, 10 times prettier, 10 times more of a benefit for him. But he just kept focusing on that feeling, on that goal. And eventually he ends up meeting Danny next week, and he falls in love and he gets married. So sometimes we get put in positions when we're focusing on things that, at the time it may seem unfortunate, but remember, rejection leads to redirection. Okay? Rejection leads to redirection. So at the end of the day, you got to remember, if something happens while you are focusing on it, just because it happened does not mean that you are not on the vibration. Okay? Sometimes things happen so that they can redirect you to the right thing. So that's what happened with that certain scenario right there. He was so focused on finding a girl that loved him, appreciated him, that was fun, that was lit, that was, a certain kind of way, that guess what? He manifested one girl, right? He thought he manifested that one girl, but that girl didn't like him. And at the time, he was discouraged by it. But he said, you know what? I'm going to keep focusing on it. And he thought that he can get the girl to like him by him focusing on that. But what he didn't realize was that in a week, he was going to meet the girl of his dreams. In a week, he was going to meet Danny. In a week, he was going to meet the girl that he really wanted to manifest from the beginning. But he needed that redirection from that one girl that he met to direct. He needed that rejection from this one girl to redirect them the other way. So when you focus on things, okay, you're going to get to a certain point where the tipping point happens. And the tipping point is at the point where the physical manifestation of it shows up in real life now. That's the tipping point where you have focused on it so much, where you've been so obsessed with it that now it tips over and boom, everything you want lands in your hand. Now, what you were holding in your mind, now you are holding in your hands. That's how it works. And the thing is that too many of us, we need to start doing this with our goals. We need to learn how to do this with our goals. I've done this and I know what it's like to attract something that at the time may not even be something that you can accomplish or afford, but because it worked in your favor, it worked out. Let me give you guys a perfect example. My penthouse in Miami. My penthouse in Miami, let me be honest with you guys. Let me be 100% transparent with you guys. If I were to move in there by myself, I couldn't afford that penthouse by myself. All right. That penthouse easily can cost you anywhere from $9,000 to $10,000 a month, including food, utilities, cleaning, the whole nine. Easily 10 bands a month. Easy $10,000 a month. Easy 10,000. Okay. But let me explain something to you guys so you guys can understand this, right? Before I moved in that penthouse, okay, when I was living in my parents' house, when I was living here, okay, I still live in Miami. I'm moving back to Miami in September, right? But for now, I'm here. until September. But when I was living here and I was broke and I didn't have nothing, I live on the 6th floor here at my parents', right? And every day I would take an elevator up. Every day I would take the elevator up. But for me, that elevator was my way of manifesting my penthouse. So every day I would get in the elevator. I was not getting in the elevator to come up to the 6th floor. No, I was getting in the elevator to go up to my penthouse. And every day I would see myself going up to the penthouse. And every day I would see it going up. And I would go on YouTube and I would watch videos on YouTube. I would watch Enes. I don't know if you guys who Enes is. Enes Cancer. He's the one that does all the like real estate, and he does the overviews and the walkthroughs and all of that. And I would literally go to Miami penthouses on the beach, and I would see myself meditating on the beach, reading on the beach, journaling on the beach, going to the saunas. I would see myself walking outside and seeing the Rolls Royces and the Lamborghinis and the Ferraris, and I would see the private security, and I would just see everything. And I was so involved and I was so obsessed with the idea of the penthouse. That's all I wanted. I wanted to get a penthouse and become a Chairman 25 in my business. That was my main 2 focuses. That was my focus. I wanted to move into a penthouse and I wanted to hit Chairman 25. That was my focus. That was my only focus. Okay, those 2 things. Chairman 25, for those who don't know what that is, it's a rank in my business that makes you $25,000 to $30,000 a month, right? So I made that my focus over a long period of time. And the way I would focus on it is every single day when I would visualize, okay, I would visualize myself in the penthouse celebrating Chairman 25. That was my visualization every single day. I can tell you the visualization because I remember it. In the visualization, it would always start me in the elevator going up into my penthouse, right? And I would open it up, boom, and my penthouse, remember guys, this was in my visualization. I could go grab my journals right now and I can find journal entries where I talked about this. Okay. And in the visualization, I would go up to my penthouse. My penthouse would open up to my apartment. The elevator will open up to the penthouse, and it would open up. And I remember I would always walk in, I would look at the view, and I would see everything. I would always go to the right. I would always go to the kitchen. All right. At the kitchen, I would always open the refrigerator door, look at the refrigerator. I would walk on the view. I would celebrate Chairman 25, the fact that I was making, $30,000 a month, that I had thousands of subscribers in my business, winning and elevating. I remember I would walk downstairs, go to the beach, do my routine. And I would do this routine while, visualizing myself as that earner. I would see the checks coming in every single week. I was earning $6,250 every single week. I would see it. I would see the message from iMarkets Live, right? Boom. Hey, Kevin, you have received the payment from so-and-so for an amount of $6,250 for the week of bam, 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 bam. I would see it in my mind, and I would see it week after week. I would see the back office. I would see the momentum. I would see everything. I would see myself. And this was every day. I did this every single day, day in and day out. Now look at how life works, right? I was doing this every single day. And if you were on Mornings with Nano, this was when we was doing the visualizations. Type of one in the chat box if you were on Mornings with Nano when we would do the visualizations before the call, right? The 10-minute visualizations with Jess, right? Who remembers those days, right? We would do them every single day. 10 minutes, we would start the call with visualization, and that's what I was visualizing. Now, mind you, when I started doing that, I was only making $5,000 a month. And I was living with my parents. Okay, so look at this, right? I still to this day do them. Still to this day, facts. I still do them to this day, right? But look, I was making only $5,000 a month, right? And I was still living at my parents' house when I started doing this. I focused on this for a whole year, right? Because I started in May. All right. I started in May of 2020. Okay, I started in May of 2020. This is when I made the decision. I'm gonna go Chairman 25, and I'm gonna move out of my parents' house. That was my goal right there. I'm gonna hit Chairman 25, and I'm gonna move out of my parents' house. Now, me moving out of my parents' house happened a lot faster than Chairman 25. Okay, because I ended up moving out of my parents' house, but it wasn't to the penthouse. I actually ended up moving to Arizona, right? Because look, the situations happen, right? My focus was the penthouse, the penthouse, the penthouse. Chairman 25, Chairman 25, Chairman 25. Okay. So what ended up happening was, since I was attracting everything, I went from P5000 to Chairman 10 that summer. And then I went from living in my parents' house to now living in Arizona, right? And look at how it happened. My brother Darwin calls me. He's like, bro, what's goody? How you doing? How's everything? He's like, bro, I have a situation that happened over here in Arizona. He said, yo, me and my girl are going to get a new spot. We need a bigger spot. We found a really good deal on this nice ass condo overlooking all of Phoenix. Right now we're living in this 2-bedroom apartment here in Scottsdale. Nice area, super dope, but I don't want to stay here anymore. And I still have 8 months left on this lease. So 4 months into this lease, he decided that he no longer wanted to live there, and he wanted to move to a bigger spot with his girl. So he calls me up and he tells me that he's like, bro, if you want to, right, I'm willing to rent it out to you. He was paying $2,000 a month for it. He said, I'm willing to rent it out to you so you could get out of your mom's house. I know you've been wanting to get out of your mom's house. I'm willing to rent it out to you for $1,000 a month, a 2-bedroom apartment in Arizona, but you got to move over here and just stay in it for 8 months. So that was in August. I had the lease from August till March. I said, hell yeah, bro. Because remember, I'm focusing on it. I'm listening to this information. So remember what I said. Go back to it. Let's go back. I said, number one is you got to get the focus, the goal. The goal was move out of my parents' house and hit Chairman 25. So what's number 2, guys? Who remembers what number 2 is? Type it in the chat box. What is number 2? What is number 2? The signs. Pay attention to the signs. Darwin calling me is the signs. I got to pay attention to the signs and I got to take action on them. So when I saw that, I knew that was a sign for me to get out of my parents' house so I can now create my own environment, so that now I can be in my own energy. Instead of me being in my parents' energy, now I get to my own energy. So I said, hell yeah, bro, I'm in. Let's do it. And I left to Arizona. Now, remember, the goal's still the same. Now, the difference is, right? Remember, when I started, I was making $5,000 a month, and I was living in my parents' house. 3 months later, in August, I started in May. In August now, I was in Arizona, and I was making $10,000 a month. So I'm making progress. Okay, that was in August. So I moved in. So now we're doing the manifestation every day. And now everything is incredible because now I have my own energy. Now I live on my own. I'm waking up at 4:44 in the morning. I'm on a different type of vibration. We literally took that house and we turned it into a grind house. I had a mattress on the floor, if I'm being real with you guys. I had a mattress on the floor. I had a few things there. That house was literally for just me to grind. If you were there, you know what I'm talking about. But what we ended up doing was we ended up pasting pictures of penthouses all over the crib. Penthouses, cars, the ranks, people, affirmations, watches, everything. We pasted it all over. When I woke up, there was a picture of the penthouse on my mirror, right? When I walked in the bathroom, right? Brushing my teeth, my goals were written on my window. I mean, on my mirror, right? When I would when I would go to the bathroom, I had my goals. So when I would sit down on the toilet, right, there was a spot where I could, where the toilet paper was. Right above it, I put my goal card there. So every time I went to use the bathroom, right, my goal card was there. And instead of me sitting down and just thinking about me, using the bathroom, I would sit there and focus on my goals, right? And I was always, like I said, paying attention to the signs. Everywhere I looked, my goals were there. Everywhere I looked, when I woke up, when I was in the bathroom, when I was in the kitchen, when I was in my room, when I was downstairs, wherever. So now my energy was in there. Remember, the key is the duration of it. How long can you keep the vibration for? How long can you do this for? That's the key. Okay. So now guess what? From August till March, let's do it. It was August, September, October, November, December, January, February, and March. 8 months, right? 8 months, which was what I had. January, I had the call with Bob. Yep. And in March, we moved out, right? It was time to move out. Now, I didn't have a home when I moved out. Okay. I decided not to come back to my parents' house. I decided to live on the road. And for 3 months, at the time, Natalia, my business partner, flew in from Australia. She flew in literally the last week of while I was in my house in Arizona. So she flew in. She literally moved from Australia to come to the United States to grind with us and build the business with me. Like literally, she made a massive sacrifice to do that. During this was like, I think this was like towards once COVID was slowing down a little bit, but she moved over here and I told her, yo, we're going to be on the road until we find the spot to live in. So we were going to move in together. That was the plan. Me and her were going to get, a nice 2-bedroom apartment, whatever it was, so on and so forth. So we could create a grind crib for the team. That was the point. We were going to get a grind house for the team. The same thing I had in Arizona, we were going to create that now on a bigger scale with her because, she was well off and, now I was making more money. I had more money saved up and we could get a spot for $4,000 or $5,000 a month easily. So we were looking for 3 months. And this is where I tell you guys, rejection leads to redirection. Bro, we would find spots. Literally, we found spots 30 days later and they were like, yo, we need you guys to come to Miami. We would go to Miami. We would do our best to be at a spot. And then next thing you know, if you know Miami markets, if you don't get it right away, if something comes up and you don't get it right away, it gets taken. So there were times that we would get it and they would be like, yeah, you guys are approved. And then somebody will take it. And then there were times that we would get spots, but they didn't meet the certain requirements or, everything. And it got to the point where we were in June. So think about that. For 3 months, like 2 months and a half, we were on the road living Airbnb to Airbnb. We were going from Arizona to California to New York to Pennsylvania to Dallas. We were going from city to city, paying Airbnb, spending so much money, living out of suitcases, literally living out of suitcases. Katie was there with me. She remembers, right? And then in June, right? I remember, it was in May, towards the end of May, something got into Natalia. I don't know what got into her. I guess she was sick of it because she's a woman and she can't, continue to live out of suitcases. And she was like, yo, I can't live like this. I can't continue to live out of a suitcase, city to city and all of this. So I remember we were in Arizona, right? We were in Arizona. It's so funny. We had went back there for a training and for a convention. We went to New Mexico. We went everywhere. And she locked herself in the room for a whole day and started making phone calls and reaching out to people and everything like that. You know how women are when they want something, they're going to get it. And she just locked in. And she ends up finding the penthouse. And she calls me and she tells me, yo, Nano, I found the spot. I said, for real? You found it? She was like, yes, there's a problem though. We're going to need one more person. Okay. Now, I kind of missed the point here. At the beginning, Natalia was going to move in by herself. Me and Fads were going to move in together. Right? That was the plan. Me and my boy Fads, some of you guys know Fads, he's one of my best friends. Me and him were going to move in together and we were looking for spots. So we were all looking for spots. Natalia wanted her own spot. Me and Fads were going to get our own spot. And then we found the 3-bedroom penthouse in Miami. She found it. And she calls me and she tells me, Nano, I found it and I am willing to go in on this penthouse with you and Fads. This is incredible. This has a sauna. It's 50 floors up. It's on the beach. It is everything you've ever wanted. She told me that. She said, bro, this is everything you, because she knows me. She knows that that's all I talk about is the penthouse on the beach, the penthouse on the beach, the penthouse on the beach. So she found it. And this was right after I went Chairman 25, because I went Chairman 25 in May, at the end of May. May 19th, I went Chairman 25. So a whole year later, I went Chairman 25. May 19th, I went Chairman 25. Okay. July 11th, we moved into the penthouse. The exact penthouse that I would see in my mind, we moved into it. The exact penthouse. June 11th, we get approved. We get asked to move in. I fly in. And everything worked in exactly everything I visualized. The sauna, the gym in the thing, the gym in the house, the views on the beach, meditation, on Millionaires Row, the Rolls Royces, the Lamborghinis, the Ferraris parked outside, the white glove service, the elevator that opens up to the penthouse, everything, the exact way that I visualized it, it all came true. Back to back. Because remember, for a whole year, remember, I started in May of 2020. May of 2020, I shifted my focus from I wanted a penthouse and I wanted a Chairman 25. In August, I moved into Arizona and I was Chairman 10. A whole year later, now in May, I hit Chairman 25 at a baseball field at an Arizona Diamondbacks game. I hit it on the field, Chairman 25, May 19th. Okay. And then 2 weeks later, I moved into the penthouse. It happened exactly how I wanted it. And we were celebrating Chairman 25 at the penthouse. We were like, bro, we did it. Exactly how I visualized it. Yeah, I was with Darwin and Natalia. Full circle. And at that point, my visualization and my belief for this information went to a whole nother level. Because I'm like, yo, you can really put something in your mind and become obsessed with it, and it can become a reality. It can literally happen. This is a true story. True story. And same thing, right? There was rejection on the way. There was a bunch of things that happened that we didn't know if it was going to happen, if it was going to go through. And you know what's the funniest part, guys? It was so real with that penthouse that it ended up being that for the last 5 to 6 months, I was in that penthouse, just me, basically, right? It was just me. And then I would bring my team over. You know, Katie was there with me. It was me. And then, you know, the team would fly in certain people, but it was just me towards the end of it, right? Because Natalia had to go back to Australia. And then Fads opened up a restaurant in Arizona. So he had to go back to Arizona. So the manifestation that I would visualize when it was just me there came true. Everything became a reality. And it was because the tipping point happened. And this is what I want you guys to understand. I am now working on something similar, but it's a little bit different now. I even manifested a dog, bro, to be honest. I even manifested Hazel, bro. No cap, I even manifested Hazel. I've always wanted a puppy, always. But I always knew that I couldn't have a puppy because I love dogs. But in New York, it's hard to have dogs, and it was tough for me. Katie had Kobe. Kobe is an adorable dog. I loved Kobe, and I would always tell Katie, yo, bring Kobe, bring Kobe. I love Kobe. We were literally weeks away from having Kobe come to Miami with us. And then Natalia got Hazel as a gift from her boyfriend. And Hazel became the love of my life, bro. Like, I'm telling you guys, Hazel became everything for me. Like Hazel was one of the reasons why when I was going through tough times, she would be like my sunshine. She would be like my peace. She would literally make me feel like if even though the world was falling apart, she would make me feel like I was the best person in the world. She would make me feel special in times when I was down, in times when things were rough and things weren't going the way that they want them go. And yo, it's so crazy how even to the T to the dog, bro, how you're able to attract everything that you want. I want you guys to know that you can do that with your goals as well. You can attract them, but you got to become obsessed with your goals, guys. But look at what the problem is, and I'm going to wrap it up with this. The problem is this, fam. Too many of us are using the tipping point with things we don't want. Most people use the tipping point against them because you're focused on the things that you don't want. You're focused on the lack of money. You're focused on the things that you don't want. Remember, in life, you get what you want, but you also get what you don't want. And the tipping point works both ways. Think about it. If I'm focused on going broke, right? If I'm focused on the lack of money, the ball of energy for that lack of money is going to grow every time I think about the lack of money. So that ball of energy is going to grow. Guys, I remember when I did this, when I was down and I wasn't aware of this information. I remember when I didn't have money, I would focus on it. And that ball of energy, my brother Mike Sortero was good, fam. This shirt is clean, right? And that ball of energy would grow because I was always focused on the lack of money. Damn, I don't have money for this. I don't have money for that. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this, and so on and so forth. It was tough for me, bro. It was hard. It was hard when you don't have money and you're trying to find ways to make more money. You focus on those things over and over and over and over again. So I would always focus on the lack of money. I would open up my bank account, the lack of money, the lack of money. And what tends to happen is just like it works positively, it works negatively. Then if you think about it, pay attention to the signs. You know what would happen? I would get a bill that I wasn't ready for. I would get charged on my card when I wasn't ready to get charged on my card. On the same day, subscriptions will come, take a bunch of money out of it. Like it seems to happen where you start to focus on the lack of money. More things come that take more money from you. Anybody feel what I'm telling you guys right now? Put a one in the chat box. Random tickets out of nowhere. Oh, yo, you got this ticket that you got to pay. My mom, yo, it's so funny, bro. My mom told me about this ticket that came in. Neno, pero, tú tienes este ticket. You have this ticket that you haven't paid off in a year. And now it's so, yo, it has happened to me. There was this ticket that I got in Dallas that I forgot about. It was a ticket that I got while driving. It was like $150 ticket. By the time that it got to me, it was already at $650 because I had months without paying it. And when she tells me that, I'm like, no freaking way, bro. No freaking way is this happening to me. I could have paid the $150, but because I forgot about it, now it's $650 because what? I was so focused on it. So now I am attracting situations, circumstances, and everything to what? Keep me at that vibration, keep me the ball of energy. So now that ball of energy comes in. I haven't paid the ticket. This is happening. That is happening. I got to go to an event. I'm just worried. I'm in a bad vibration, right? We said pay attention to the sign. Now, the thing was, we said number 3 is the duration now, right? I was focused on that for a very long period of time. I was at that low vibration for a long period of time. I was focusing so much on the lack of money, the lack of everything for so long that eventually I hit the tipping point at a low vibration and I went broke. I lost everything. I didn't have no money. I was working check to check. My credit Forget about it. I went from having a 700. I think I remember I had like a 730 credit score. I didn't even, it got to the point where I couldn't even make credit card payments. I couldn't make credit card payments because they wanted me to give them $200 a month. And I'm like, bro, I'm only making $1,000 a month. I need every dollar that I can get. So that credit card ended up going into collections. I couldn't pay off anything. I said, forget all of that. Every dollar that I think about it, I needed every dollar that I could get, because at the time I still had faith in the business, and I would not go work a job for nothing in the world. You couldn't pay me to go work a job, because the moment I took that check, I became an employee, and I didn't want to take the check. Nothing against it. That was just my decision. I was willing to go through the struggles and go through that, so that I prefer my time freedom and going through it than not having time freedom and having a few bucks every week. That was me, but that was my decision. That was my decision. I would prefer the time freedom. The fact that I could wake up at whatever time, do what I want when I want. I would prefer that over going to a job and getting paid a check. But that was me. Okay? I don't recommend that for everybody. I was living with my parents. They were helping me. They had a roof over my head. I had food. You know, my situation is a lot different than most people, right? I had parents that were very supportive and were willing to, you know, pay for a roof over my head, give me food every day, give me money, whatever it was. But I prefer the time freedom. Yo, fam, and when I'm telling you guys, I hit the tipping point on the negative side as well. I hit it. I've hit it. I've seen it on both ends. I became obsessed about the idea of me going broke. Eventually, everything that I was scared of became a reality. Everything. Everything that I feared became a reality. Me going broke, me losing my credit score, all of these things became true. All of them. They've come true on a negative perspective and on a positive perspective. I know how it works. That's why I'm so grateful for the experiences that I've had, both good or bad, both good or character building, because the character building ones taught me what I didn't want. I already know how no longer to attract situations of that magnitude. So now I only focus on what I want, 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 what I want. This is what I want, and this is the only thing I want. And that's what I want you guys to do. Use this idea of the tipping point. Grow that ball of energy starting today. If you already started it, start it. And see yourself accomplishing that goal. Speak it. Talk about it. Surround yourself with people. Go sit in the car. Go look at the homes. Go do it every day. Paste it all over. I gave you guys the keys onto how I did it. The same things that I'm doing, the same things that I did to attract Chairman 25 and my penthouse is the same things that I'm doing now to attract another penthouse and to attract another rank. It's the same thing. It's the same principles. It's just more of an obsessiveness, more of an intention, more energy going towards it. But it's the same exact thing. I know everything is going to work in my favor. I know everybody that I meet. I know that every situation, I know that every circumstance is going to happen in the exact proportion and energy that I need it to happen for me to go out there and have it happen for me. You could be broke with $0 in your pocket right now, and in 90 days, you could be making hundreds and thousands of dollars every month just because you focused on it and you didn't allow yourself to have the tipping point happen on the negative way. You can have it in the positive way. You just got to focus on that idea, the idea of what you want, how much money you want to earn, what rank do you want to hit in your business, what car you want to live in. What car you want to drive, what house you want to live in. You focus on that over a period of time and you pay attention to the sign and you realize that it's not about the vibration that you are on, it's about the vibration that you can keep. That's the key, the vibration that you keep. I kept the vibration always. Always, 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 always. That's the key. That is the key. Tiana, you're right. Actually, you are not broke if you have a roof on your head, food on the table, and bills are paid. That's a fact. You are rich if you could do that. But you know what I was saying, though. But at the end, the physical manifestation is going to happen, and that's what I want you guys to remember and understand. So, find out what you want and dedicate the whole month of August to a very intense desire and a very intense focus and obsessiveness on that one specific goal and see what happens. All right, fam. So that is everything I wanted to cover with you guys today. Type a 3 in the chat box if you guys got value from today's call. Right? I've done this with so many things. But now my question is, how can you pay attention to the signs? Let me see. You pay attention to the signs because you know what you want. So now you'll see what happens. Alignment. If something happens that has to do with what you're focused on, you know that's a sign. That's all it is. That's how it works. Literally how it works. So I hope you guys apply this. I'm doing this. The only reason I'm telling you guys this is because this is what I'm doing. I have a certain amount of money and a certain amount of things that I want to accomplish by the end of the year. And this is my focus. This is my focus right here. All right, fam. So thank you guys so much for hopping on. If you jumped on the e-commerce call yesterday and you haven't followed up with me, send me a text that you jumped on so that we can schedule a phone call to talk today. I'm going to be talking to people from now till then. There's still a lot of people that want to jump on. We have a lot of people interested in e-commerce. We had about 3 or 4 people who signed up yesterday. So if you guys still need, you can text me now on Twitter. My thing was off. But if you guys, I have a recording of it as well. I posted, but I will be starting Sunday with whoever wants to start. So, let's run that up. But with that being said, that is everything I wanted to cover today. Take advantage of it. If you were on the call, message me, let me know so I can get back to you and we could get you guys in and out. And then I'm very, very excited. Like this video if you got value from this video. Also, like this video, subscribe to this channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel. Turn on the post notifications as well. Another thing, I'm working on somebody who may come to speak to us. We're working on it. She may be here, maybe tomorrow, maybe Friday, maybe next week. I'm still waiting to confirm. It's hard to get in contact with her, but I've been talking with her, and right now, she is the #1 female motivational speaker in the world. And I met her at NFT Miami. And I've been following up with her every single day, showing love, letting her know that, yo, I would love for you to jump on the call. I would love for you to jump on this call. She just released a new book. So you guys will see who she is. I'm going to let you guys know. I'm going to keep it as a surprise for now. But just know that big things are coming. We're going to have a huge motivational speaker jump on Mornings with Nano. Very, very soon. So I'm just waiting for the confirmation. She told me yesterday that she's down for Thursday, but I told her to let me know if it's 100% confirmed. So if not this week, hopefully next week, but we're going to run that up. And if not, we're going to find a way to do it because I want to get her on the call because she's all about what we're about. All right. And so that's everything right there. That's everything I wanted to cover. Thank you guys so much for hopping on today's call. I'm blessed and grateful. I'm going to do a quick prayer for us, and then we're going to go. All right, quick prayer. Let's bow our heads. Father God, thank you so much for blessing us with another beautiful day filled with your grace and your abundance. We are forever thankful for the continuous information and wisdom that you pour into us. Today, we learned about the importance about setting a goal, paying attention to the signs, and having that deep desire and that obsession with that goal until the physical manifestation happens. The most important thing I want to ask you, God, for is for you to clear our thoughts of anything that is not benefiting us and that does not align with our purpose, and only allow thoughts of positivity, of love, of pure desires to come into our mind. Allow us to have the awareness to see the signs when you put them out there for us. And that each and every single day, not only do we get on the vibration, but we keep the vibration over a period of time, and that we are able to have the strength to realize the rejections that are there, so that you can redirect us into what exactly it is that we want. We are so extremely thankful for all that you do for us each and every single day. You've blessed us beyond belief, and every single day we just say thank you, thank you, thank you for a leader like you, for a father like you, and for us having just such an incredible individual by our side that stands there and walks down this path with us. There is no one better. You are the greatest. We give you all the glory. We give you all the appreciation, and we give you all the love. Thank you for everything that you're doing for us, and thank you for everything that you're going to do for us in the next coming months and in the next coming years. We appreciate you so much. We love you so much. Let's go out there and have a great day. And in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. 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 All right, fam. So love ya, fam. I hope you guys all have a blessed day. Like I said again, turn on post notifications, like this video. If you haven't liked it, subscribe to my channel, share this video with others. If you jumped on the call last night, the ECX call, follow back up with me. I had over 40 people who hopped on. I'm still working on getting back to anybody. Hit me up. Let me know that you hopped on so I could get back to you. We could jump on a call, see where you're at. Let's run the play. And I'll post the e-commerce replay in the chat so you guys can watch it. All right, fam. So I love you guys so much. I appreciate you guys so much. I hope you guys have a blessed rest of your day. And I'll see you guys back here tomorrow for another episode of Mornings with Nano. God bless. Let's get it. All right, fam.